What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to Life to Metal. Going to be doing a What's Spinning today, all vinyl edition. I have been getting a lot of requests for the car videos, and I do have a stack of CDs that I've been spinning as well. So I will do that when I have a time. I just haven't had time to sit out in the car and do that recently. But today I am going to be showing a stack of vinyl that is almost 99% thrash metal. I listen to all kinds of stuff all day long, every day. To show everything I play would be impossible. It's because I listen to music while I'm working, and I listen to test pressings, and I listen to CDs, I listen to cassettes. So this is just a pile of stuff that basically I had listened to. I put in a pile over there, and I hadn't put it away yet. So I'm going to just start showing that. So first up, classic Unstoppable Force by US band Agent Steel. Often called thrash metal, many call them speed metal. I don't care what you call them. It's just great, fast, heavy metal with fantastic vocals. Always loved the first two Agent Steel records. I really like the whole catalog, but those first two are just undeniable US heavy metal classics. So Agent Steel, of course, John Circus, Juan Garcia, who is a thrash metal legend on guitar, Bernie Visceri, Chuck Profis on drums, and Michael Zaputil on bass. But yeah, Juan Garcia is very well known as he was guitarist in several other bands, including another one that I'll be showing in here, so I'll hold off saying who it is. Next one, not really thrash metal, but close enough. Metal Church, this is the last album they put out. Obviously, might even be the last album, who knows. Definitely the last album from Mike Howe, as he's no longer with us. But this is from the vault, so it's a 2-album set. Each side is a little different. It's got side A is all new studio tracks that they recorded with Mike Howe on vocals. So you got 4 brand new tracks. And then side B, you've got B-side tracks from the Damned If You Do sessions. So all songs that were recorded but not released on anything but B-sides or maybe on video or whatnot on YouTube, but never released on a full-length album. Side C is 3 cover songs: Please Don't Judas Me, Black Betty, and Green Eyed Lady. Really like their cover of Please Don't Judas Me, classic Naz. And then side D is live from the vault, so you get Agent Green and Anthem to the Estranged, both live in Japan. Great set if you don't have it. Metal Church, of course, US heavy metal, US. To me, they were the poster boys for US power metal. Some people would call them thrash. I never really considered them that to be thrash, but regardless. All right, Tribulation. This is kind of more of an underground one. This is Clown of Thorns. This is on the Black Mark label, distributed by SPV from, 1990, I believe it was, maybe 1991. Just, again, classic thrash metal. Look at the guys in the back, though, man, especially the two, Forsberg and Steven. Those guys look like they're straight out of California, but I don't believe they were. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this band was from Germany. Like I said, I could be wrong, but man, 3 of those 4 guys look like they were like 80s California surfer dudes. But great music nonetheless. Just great thrash metal. A band I hadn't heard of. A friend of mine, Jürgen Allman, who's the singer for the German thrash metal band Repent, turned me on to those guys. Really appreciate it because I actually really liked that album. I've played it several times. Another classic, kind of an underground one, Mesro. This is on the Active label from, I don't know, 89, 90, somewhere in there. I think it was 1990. I don't know. It's just, again, thrash metal. Again, long blonde hair. These guys look like they're out of California. They're not. And it's funny because all 5 of them have the long blonde hair. They're all wearing the high tops white sneakers with the tongues pulled out, like we all did back in the 80s. I find it humorous that a lot of the newer thrash bands have to wear the shoes like that too, because they think it was a thrash thing when it really was just an 80s thing, because everybody was wearing your shoes like that, not just thrash bands. Everybody had the tongues pulled up high, and it was the white high tops. That's just the way it was. And then of course the tight blue jeans and the leather biker jackets. And for some of us, we still wear those kind of things. What can I say? Anyhow, just great thrash metal. Mesro, this is another one. If you're into that classic, 80s thrash metal sound, it's a bit of an underground release, but it's a really solid, very good album. Check out Mesro. I believe this band was from Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I should have looked some of these up to remind myself where they're from, but this is a newer band. This is Ramming Speed. This is one that I've had for a little while. I purchased it just on a blind buy. I can't remember much about it, to be honest with you. It's kind of it's hard to see, especially with the plastic on there. It's black on black, none more black. Let me pull it out so you can kind of see it. So if you look very closely, you can see there's images and stuff on the black. The song titles are in black. It's very hard to read. The same with the artwork on the front. But again, it's more modern speed metal. Has a bit of a Motorhead vibe at times, but really, really solid, speedy thrash metal. A newer band, so new wave of thrash metal, whatever, new wave of traditional thrash metal, whatever they're calling it. Great band, great release on the list. And I picked up this one really cheap, just on, like I said, on a spur of the moment buy, and I really enjoyed it. Need to get to know this band a little more. Like I said, I only played it a few times, and I was just flipping through looking for something to spin, and it's like, I haven't heard that in a while. Gave it a spin. Warbringer, another one of those new wave bands. These guys have tons of albums out. They're constantly touring. My band actually played a show with these guys. Was Ultimatum, Vector, and Warbringer. Man, what a great show that was. It was a little odd opening up for them because those guys, especially especially Vector, man, some of their songs are really, really long. But I really enjoyed their sound. I became a fan of both Vector and Warbringer that day. That was back when both these bands were fairly new, because I ended up buying a Vector patch, and I bought their first independent Arizona cassette, or CD, excuse me, and they had just released their very first album. But you know, their very first album on a label, so that's why I one of the lucky few have that first album on CD that was released independently. Regardless, Warbringer, great thrash, pushing a little bit towards death metal, but definitely not death metal. Just very, very aggressive thrash metal. Phantasm, basically Hyrax under a different name. This is Kate DePena on vocals, and you've got Metallica bassist Rodney Matthews playing with him. That's him there. But this is kind of your crossover thrash metal stuff. This is well worth picking up. It's actually, it was originally just a demo. This vinyl release has the demo on side A, and it's a 6-song demo. But side B, it's got a live performance, live in Phoenix, which is really enjoyable. I mean, some thrash live is just really noisy and garbage. And I'm not saying this is like perfect sound, but it is very enjoyable. It's kind of captures a time and period, and if you like that Hyrax, early Hyrax crossover thrash metal sound, you probably dig Phantasm too, so well worth looking up. Phantasm, Wreckage, and this one's this is a Deep South Black Devil release, so this is actually on Caton's label, Kate DePena, so you can probably pick it up from there, if not somewhere else. I can't remember where I picked mine up. Might have actually got it from him. I used to buy stuff from his label all the time. So this is a 2020 release, I believe it is. From this band. This is obviously Iron Angel. This is a new release from an old band. This is kind of pushing more towards power metal than thrash metal, but it is, I don't know, you can argue semantics here, but it's cleaner than their old stuff. The recording is better, the musicianship is tighter, so it kind of almost has a tight power metal sound, but it's still thrash metal as well. I really quite enjoyed this one. I wish I had this in 2020 because it would have made my list, but unfortunately I didn't pick it up until this year, and it's gotten quite a few spins, and probably would have gotten even more had I picked it up when it was new. Emerald Eyes by Iron Angel. This one I showed in my last video, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but this is TOXIK, World Circus, US speed metal, kind of in the same range as Realm and Agent Steel, Deliverance, that kind of thrashy speed metal stuff. Really like this kind of sound, the high-pitched, clean vocals, the speedy riffs, the machine gun riffing, the fast bass. It's not overdone double bass, but there is quite a bit of just really fast rhythm section going on. It's a great album and a classic cover too. I believe this is I don't see his name on here. Is it? Oh yeah, it is Ed Repka. Classic Ed Repka cover. So this one I showed in my last video too. This is UK thrash metal. This was, I believe, their 4th album. fourth full-length album. This was like 91. They were toying with their sound a little bit, like a lot of thrash bands were at that point, but it's still a solid record from Reanimator. I'm not sure I like it as much as their first two, but I quite enjoyed it, especially it was really cool to find an original pressing of this. I don't know that there'll ever be a repressing, but this copy is like mint. It looks like it was just came out of the packaging, and the vinyl is brand new mint too. Sounded fantastic, so I was really glad to get this, and I got it for a really good price. So really good by today's standards, not really good by 10 years ago standards. Couple here from the same band. This is Heathen. This is Empire of the Blind. Again, this is U.S. Thrash metal band, Bay Area thrash metal band, but to me this pushes again more towards the power metal sound than it does a thrash metal sound. Again, you can argue all you want to about whether it's thrash or power metal or speed metal or whatever, but it's very, very cleanly recorded. It's aggressive and it's heavy, but it's very tight. The musicianship's tight. These songs aren't all real fast, so there's a lot of mid-pace stuff going on here. It's a great album. I really enjoy it. Whether you want to call it thrash or power metal, I don't care. If you like Heathen, you probably dig this one. And I thought there was two of them in here. Yeah, there is. And then this, I believe this was their first album they released as when they got back together. Their first original album. They also had an album that had covers and stuff like that on it. But this is a cool cover, man. I always thought it was a great cover. The Evolution of Chaos. Love the graphics on this thing. Just got into a Heathen mood and was playing all their different stuff. And this is one that I pulled out and gave a spin to. The 10th anniversary remastered for 2 LP with exclusive bonus track. I can't believe this thing's 10 years old already. My goodness. Again, that I think is more thrash metal than Empire is. Empire, again, it's maybe just because it's more mid-paced and it doesn't have that same riffing style that I think of when I think of thrash. But what do you think? I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard those Heathen records. Do you think that Evolution is thrash? Do you think it's power metal? Do you think it's speed metal? What do you think? Ah, speaking of Vector, here's another one. I forgot almost what was in here because I literally just all suddenly pulled this out and started, this is just a pile of records that's sitting over there. So kind of off the cuff talking about them, but this is Vector. I love this band. I've seen them live several times. Like I said earlier, my band opened for them one time, and that just made me a fan. They were so good. It was such a good show. I mean, my band at the time was so tight because we were just constantly playing, but so were Vector and WARBRINGER. So Voivod, I keep saying that. Their logo obviously is a takeoff of Voivod, but Vector, Outer Isolation, just great thrash metal, blackened vocals, very progressive. I've heard them compared to bands like Voivod and Coroner. I've heard other people say they're not as good as those bands, but I tend to think that people say that probably just don't like the newer bands as much as the older bands, because if this album had come out in 1989, 1990, they would have ruled the world. The fact that they, are a new wave of thrash metal band, some people dismiss them. I think they're fantastic. Originally from Arizona, I'm not sure where they're located now, but okay, Evil Dead. I spoke earlier of Steve Gaines, guitar player, and this was one of his other bands, and he is also in this band as well. I'm going to say 3 of the 5 members of this band are now in Anger as Art. And they're another great thrash band. Anger as Art, a Southern California band. Actually, they're an LA band. They're from Los Angeles. So, and Evil Dead, I believe, is a Los Angeles band as well. So, a lot of you think of thrash metal in California, you tend to think of the Bay Area stuff. But there was a ton of bands that came out of Los Angeles as well, including Evil Dead. And Hyrax is another one. Hyrax came out of LA. And I mean, honestly, so did Metallica and Megadeth. You can say they're Bay Area bands all you want to, but it's not where they're originally from. So, United States of Anarchy, new album from them, reunion album, really, really fast, aggressive thrash metal. Obviously, all politically charged. It has the mandatory Ed Replica cover, has the classic Evil Dead logo. It has the classic Evil Dead sound. If you like thrash metal, that is a great album. Here's the original pressing of Sacrament. This one's been reissued. The reissue has a way better back cover. The original back cover was awful. I mean, they literally just took the CD insert of the lyrics and flattened it and put it on the back. That's what they did. And then some liner notes on there. It's just the back cover art's horrible. Always loved the front cover art. But this Testimony to Apocalypse, and some of the members of this band, including the vocalist, are doing a new band and recording a new album under the name Testimony of the Apocalypse. They're online promoting it. I've seen the logo, I've seen the new cover art, and I've heard clips of a new song, and it's great thrash metal. So looking forward to hear some Testimony of the Apocalypse. But this is a classic album from them. I don't know, 89, 90, somewhere in that area, on the REX label. You're a thrash fan, you know who this band is. One of the German Big Three, Destruction. This is released from Agony. I love this record. I showed this one in a video, probably a few videos ago, that I picked up. Original pressing on the Profile label. Red Rock Hotel Records, Profile distribution. Great thrash metal from Germany. Teutonic thrash. Should have showed this one earlier when I showed the other Razor, but this is another Razor record. Like I said, I like this band a lot, so I play them a lot. Canadian thrash metal, not much to say about it. I mean, finally officially reissued Razor's Thrash Metal Attack, Razor Sharp and unique, exclusive, manufactured for and distributed by Hammered Heart Records. Whoa, malicious intent, Razor. Yeah, by this point, Razor were definitely moved away from anything that sounded like speed metal, like their first album. You're not going to hear, like, I don't know, I kind of liken their early stuff to like a mixture of Exciter and Venom. This here is just blistering, fast thrash metal. Great stuff. And then, of course, they've gone through many lineups, but many consider this to be the classic lineup and the classic sound, and I wouldn't disagree with that. It's a great album. All right. Man, I've got a lot here. How long is this video? 15 minutes. All right, I'm going to keep cruising. Belgian band, After All. They've released a few albums in the last couple years. This was actually getting kind of old now. I think it's like 2017, and I've been pimping this album for them for years. Again, Ed Repka cover. I guess it's mandatory if you're in a thrash band to have at least one Ed Repka cover, right? But this is really good stuff. I was talking about the band TOXIK earlier, and Realm, Agent Steel, those kind of bands. This, After All, fits right in with those, with the high-pitched, soaring vocals, the speed metal style vocals, and the razor sharp musicianship, the machine gun riffing, the fast, heavy rhythm section. This is just great thrash metal, speed metal, whatever you want to call it. If you've not heard of this band, this album is well worth picking up. They've got several albums out. They've got a few different vocalists, but this album, the one that came out after it, have the more clean, high-pitched style vocals that I really, really like. But I like their whole catalog, really. They've been around for a long time, from Belgium. All right, 2 more to go here. Another LA band. Like, again, I said, you think of thrash metal in California, you tend to think of the Bay Area bands, but this is Viking. Viking were another band. This is their second album, Man of Straw. A lot of these guys ended up being in an incarnation of Dark Angel for a while, but this is another reissue. High Roller Records. This is a black vinyl pressing. Classic. This is my favorite Viking album. They have 3 full-length albums out total. This was their second album. Then they folded for a long time and came back and released an album a couple years ago that's also quite good. This whole album is just spectacular. The first album was a little more raw, and a lot of people say they like it better, but to me, this thing, the musicianship here is just spectacular. The songwriting is fantastic. You could just tell these guys have been playing together for a long time, and they just had it down. And also, the lyrics here tend to be a bit more to my liking, as opposed to the "Look How Evil We Are" lyrics they had on the first album. These are more, thought out, kind of a thinking man's metal kind of thing, talking about, politics, spirituality, those sorts of different things. Not much different like when you hear from like a band like Metal Church. And I'm trying to remember which is a song on here that The Trial. What a fantastic song. I think I actually I like the lyrics to that one so much, I think I actually posted it on my No Life to Metal site back when I did a review 15 years ago. All right, last one, Overkill. A lot of people, don't like this era of Overkill, clone groove metal, whatever. I like Overkill, period. They didn't release an album I don't at least like. In many cases, love, and this is one of those ones that I love, and I saw him on this tour. I've got my CD autographed by him when I met them on this tour. I got a poster autographed by him. Mostly really cool guys. Dee Dee Verney was really cool. Took a picture with me and some of the guys in Ultimatum. I've met Blitz a couple times. Always very nice, very very cool. Yeah, what can I say? Just great band, great album. This has got a couple of songs that continue to be in their live set, like Bats in the Belfry, and of course, Here's to the Old School. Doesn't matter if you look cool. Kind of an what do you call it? Kind of a shanty. What do you call those? One of those beer drinking songs at the very end, almost like a punk influence sound on the song Old School. Great. I love that song. I love the whole album. So, classic overkill. So there you go. That's my what's spinning. For now, I think it was almost all thrash metal, some speed metal, maybe a couple power metal. But appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Do leave a message below, and I will try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. And that's it. God bless. Stay strong.